what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Guys on Sports. Today, we're previewing the NFC West. So we're going to talk who we think's winning the division, who we think's going to finish in last, maybe sprinkle in a little bit of fantasy. We don't want to hold things up today. We'll get back into TikTok take once the season starts. But until then, we're going to give it to the board. I mean, before we do any of that, I want to know if you guys have been on Chalkboard lately.
Yeah, I actually just recently went onto Chalkboard just to kind of see, do we still have a following?
We do have a following.
Yeah, and I may have prepared my top list already for the upcoming season. So I'm going to be dropping my first draft list of the offseason on Chalkboard.
Ooh, what's titillating?
It's almost time. Camp is in session, so
I don't have to log in to Chalkboard. You want to know why?
Because you just press
because
the button.
I can't figure out how to turn off notifications, and that shit wakes me up at like 3 o'clock in the morning every single night.
Really?
It just vibrates on the nights. Yeah, dude. People are hitting that Chalkboard up like
we have a
all
lot of
throughout
West
the night.
Coast.
It's insane.
Yeah, we honestly, all joking aside, have a lot of
I know.
interest in the West Coast.
I know. I'm dead asleep, and it's like bzz, 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 and everyone starts responding to the first comment. And before you know it, I'm wide awake. And
somebody your age, dead of night, 8:30.
Man, I'm a partier. It's at least 10:15. It's insane.
All right, so guys, listen, Chalkboard is our partner, right? So let's shout out Chalkboard.
Thanks, Chalkboard.
24/7 fantasy advice from us. You got Rocky's cheat sheets. You got Mark's start sits. You're going to have my picks. You're going to have Zach just talking to people.
Yeah, Jackson moderator.
But we've built up a nice community there. There's a bunch of other players. You bounce your ideas, your lineups off other people, and you can talk to us. We will be moving to Patreon soon. We're setting that up for you to get one-on-one time with each one of us. We'll be offering, trade grades, trade advice, roster, draft advice, all that stuff. Stay tuned. The link's in the bio, and it's also on your screen with the QR code. So let's move on to the NFC West.
Let's do it.
Rocky, please bless us with your NFC West winner.
Okay, and I'm just going to go winner here, right?
That's right.
So I have...
way to follow directions.
Yeah. I have the Los Angeles Rams.
Los
You
Angeles
son
Rams.
of a bitch.
Yeah.
Come on.
Man.
He just demonetized.
Yeah,
us,
come
but-
on.
No, we're past 2 minutes. We're good.
Yeah, I have... Now, do you want me to give totals or no? Just
For the whole division?
for them.
No, just...
Yeah, I have the Rams winning this division. I feel pretty secure about this. I like what they got going on. I honestly love their receiving core with a healthy Cooper Kupp. I think they have a great running back room, and I love Stafford.
So, I guess the obvious thing here is I think we're all going to... I don't want to get too deep into it because we all got to give our picks, and I think maybe then we talk. But that's interesting. So, Mark... Who do you have winning the NFC West?
So once again, I thought I was going out on a limb here. I have the Rams, despite the fact that Aaron Donald is retiring. They did a great job of bringing in a couple of key pieces for defense. Like you said, that wide receiving core is very, very talented and underrated, especially in fantasy drafts and where you can get them, is Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson is low-key a fantastic WR3, and you can get him so late in drafts that he's going undrafted. So if the mood hits you, Make sure you scarf him up at the end of drafts, especially in best ball. Because with Stafford re-signing or restructuring that contract and coming back, he's in camp as of today. They're motivated, man. That backfield is nothing to
Not at all.
wave a stick at either. Kyron Williams, you bring in Blake Corum. It's looking pretty good out there. Sean McVay likes to utilize that multiple running back system anyway.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and I hate to be a follower, but I'm also taking the Rams to win this division.
I can't believe all three of us
We
went
are
Rams.
a Rams show. Now, to be fair, the Rams have the second highest odds to win that division, so we're not going crazy here. The Rams finished 2 games behind the 49ers last year, who I'm sure we'll talk about in a few minutes. They could have won that division. They weren't super healthy last year. They're fully healthy coming into this year. Great tandem in the backfield. Great tandem on the outside. Kupp with a full camp again, fully healthy. Probably back to the best he's been in the last 3 years.
Let's hope so.
This is a team that, went to the Super Bowl and won it just a few years ago. So I love the Rams. I love the coaching staff. I do think there's some weaknesses in the rest of the division. So I'll just lead right in, and I'll let you go after me. I'll tell you who I think is finishing last in the division. And I think it's Seattle. Seattle, I just don't see. I don't know what their identity is right now. They don't have a great running game. They do have some weapons on the outside. They don't have a guy to get them the ball. I don't know that I believe in Geno Smith any more than I did the year before he played well. So I just don't know where they really fit in as a contender in this division.
All right, I'm going to follow up. I also have them going last. I did have a kind of a fever dream last night when I was actually statting it out, and I kind of way understated Seattle's win, but I kind of came back. The NFL or most of the draft boards are saying they should win 7.5 games. I have them a little bit lower than that. For many of the reasons you said, Geno is the same guy that got popped in the face and got his jaw broken in New York. He's a good quarterback.
Never going to let you forget about that, Geno.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. That's it. I think they have some holes, and I don't like. It just seemed like last year they weren't coached as well. I think the NFL is changing, and their coaching staff hasn't adjusted quick enough.
Has the game passed Pete Carroll by?
I mean, I'm not saying that, but I think it's getting to that point, and we all chose the Rams, and it's because of I love the way they're coached, and I think Pete's kind of missing a beat.
This is blasphemy. Do you guys not realize that the Cardinals are also in this division?
Sure do.
The Cardinals finished that last. I don't see what you're seeing with Seattle. Here's why. Kenneth Walker, very capable if he stays healthy, dynamic running back. You have Zach Charbonnet, who they brought in to be their pass-catching back out of the backfield. You have a solid receiving core. DK Metcalf, freak of nature. Tyler Lockett, probably the least hit wide receiver in all the NFL throughout his years. And you have JSN coming off of a rookie campaign that was very much so underperforming, but the talent's there. And you have Noah Fant, who is in his, newsflash, his breakout 8th season in the NFL, where all NFL tight ends break out. We know this. It's year 8. I like this offense. Arizona, on the other hand, you have Kyler Murray, right, who's got gaming issues, and he's also, he's half the size of Geno Smith.
Little guy.
He's a very little guy. I mean, you're hard-pressed outside of them drafting Marvin Harrison for a lot of people that don't follow football to name another wide receiver in that group. I mean, it's hard. We can, obviously, because we follow. I like Michael Wilson personally. I think Zay Jones is competent. But again, I mean, it's not a wide receiver room that's going to blow your doors off. You do have Trey McBride. All right, I do like Trey McBride. I think Trey McBride is going to be a focal point of this offense. But when you start saying that sentence out loud, Trey McBride is going to be a focal point of this offense, is when you start to realize that Arizona is going to finish last in this division.
All right, well, let's give our win totals for the winners and losers, and then we'll kind of debate a little bit.
Okay.
But
Can I ask you a question, though, first? Where do you have Arizona?
I have Arizona 3rd.
Okay, so
possibly 2nd. I think they can contend.
Here's
with San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Here's where I would argue with you.
I thought we were doing records. What do you do?
Well,
You're going rogue.
Yeah, because
Rocky's going rogue.
You know me, I like to make fun of little guys, but Kyler makes it. He's a difference maker. Like when he's on and he's healthy, he's a competent quarterback. So,
and we outline. I have Kyler. Kyler finished the top 10 quarterback when he came last year in fantasy.
You get to look up to him and you respect him.
That's not fair. That's not.
Don't get me wrong. Kyler, from a fantasy standpoint, is not terrible, but it's because they're going to be playing from behind all season long.
I don't think so. But hey, so what do you have the Rams at?
I have the Rams finishing 12-5 this year.
Yeah.
A very respectable 12-5.
I have them at 12-5 as well.
I know you. Too. Oh, I thought you fever dreamed. I thought you were.
No.
You went back and reanalyzed.
I adjusted. I looked at the opponents and I fever dreamed it back to 12-5.
I think we're going to differ on who they lose to a little bit because you guys are bastards and you don't like the Bears, but 12-5 is 12-5 regardless.
Yeah. I have the Seahawks at 6-11.
I have them at 6-11 too.
Okay.
All right.
What about?
I didn't figure out Arizona's. I didn't realize that we were doing it for the lowest team in that division. But if I had to just go out on a limb and guess off the top of my head, 4-13 seems legitimate for Arizona.
4-13 is what you're picking up for them.
Two
straight
seasons.
Here's what I'll say back to you about your whole whatever that was. That team you just talked up was on the field last year, and they looked like an inconsistent, unwell coached team that really couldn't compete in their division. So I don't understand why.
That's why I have them fourth.
No, I'm talking about Seattle.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so
you just described Arizona.
No, Arizona's coaching staff actually looks like they know what they're doing on offense.
And Arizona was in a lot of games playing with Clayton Tune at quarterback. Like, a solid year by Kyler can make a difference.
So
I'm just saying,
At
what changes with Seattle here for you?
at 4-13 minus 125 points, I don't know how many games they were really in because Arizona did not show up last year.
Could be in a game and still lose.
I think Seattle was in games. Seattle had a point difference of only -38, and they were 9-8. I mean, they still had those games could go either way. Maybe they make a couple of better calls down the stretch. Maybe they run the clock out a little better.
So you're putting your eggs. You're putting your eggs in the Geno Smith, Pete Carroll basket.
No, Pete Carroll he's a mastermind. Did he screw up with the Marshawn Lynch goal line thing? Of course he did, right? But he's learned from that. Pete Carroll is one of the better coaches in the league, one of the better coaches throughout the history of coaching on both the collegiate and NFL levels. I do trust in him. I don't care that he's 85 years old. The guy is in peak physical condition. His mind is there. He's not bowing out of the race. He's staying in there.
So listen, we're going to later. We're going to do the win-loss game with the Rams because I want to see who you got them beating and I think this is important because I think the main thing we have to address here is the 49ers. Nobody picked the 49ers. The big bad 49ers with the best roster in the NFL. None of us have them winning this division, and I think we had to kind of talk about that. For me personally, I think part of it is I think there's a thing with teams, especially like the 49ers, that have been to the pinnacle but not finished, where you get a little complacent. This is just a gut thing. But defensively, they didn't look like the same team at times last year. There was a bunch of drama with Steve Wilkes. I mean, even in the media between Shanahan and Wilkes and him kind of throwing him under the bus. They're on their third defensive coordinator in 3 years, Nick Sorensen. For me, with the quarterback play, the uneven defensive play last year, and you have a Rams team that's kind of ready to go. You know what I mean? They're ready to hit the ground running. They were 5-1 in the division last year. You got McVay. You bring in Brandon Staley from the Chargers, who is a defensive mastermind. And I think they're ready to rock and roll. So I think it's going to be a long season for the 49ers, especially with their schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their schedule, they're going to face the tops of every division. So I think that right out of the gate, you're talking about 7 very, very difficult games. Not to mention you're going to have to face the Rams twice. I think you can punt the other teams in the division, but I mean, you're still. I can't remember which division it is that the NFC West faces this year, but I'm willing to bet that when I look through each division, provided that it's not the NFC South, they're going to face at least two more prime teams, and you can't overlook. I mean,
NFC North.
They're playing.
Shit, man, that's losses to. You're looking at Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago losses. Damn,
I think that's possible.
Throttle them.
I don't know about that, but
where there's smoke, there's fire. We always say that on this show, right? So I mean, Brandon Ayuk with this holdout, with this the drama surrounding Ayuk and now wanting out of town, and San Fran saying that they're not going to give up on him, just like they did Debo 2 seasons ago. It just still smells funky to me. I don't like that. I don't like drama going into camp. I think it breeds bad morale. I think teams try to then overcompensate, and then you start to get out of your game plan. Without Brandon Ayuk on the field, you're looking at Brock Purdy is going to have to rely on Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and CMC. And I mean, at that point, you're like one major injury away from really not you're going to have a stagnant offense at that point. Now, what I will say is that I think that if Ayuk does not return to San Francisco, you're looking at a major uptick in rookie Ricky Purcell and trying to get him later in your drafts, especially best balls, because that could pay off for you. I mean, the guy was dynamic at Florida. But I don't know, man. I don't. how you guys see Arizona competing with San Fran for that second spot is kind of how I see Seattle competing with San Fran for that second place AFC or NFC West.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
I
I'm
was
sorry.
going to say,
I'll
I think
cut off.
you bring up a good point, and one reason why, because I have the Rams at 12-5, I have San Francisco at 11-6. I think it's going to be that type of division. I do think Brandon Ayuk. I do think that there's actual fire here, and that worries me because I think Debo's an amazing receiver. I love CMC, love Kittle, but Ayuk is the guy stretching that field and getting the other guys open on underneath routes. And I don't know who they could, because I don't think they'll lose them. They might trade them and pick up, like, for instance, there's been a ton of rumors about Ayuk going to the Browns for Cooper, who's unhappy also.
Well, Cooper got a raise today.
He did? He did sign up. Okay, so that was the right thing to do by the Browns. But, okay, I love Cooper.
How often does that happen?
Yeah, I know.
Almost never.
I love Cooper, but Ayuk's a different animal. And so I think, anybody they're going to be able to get in return is going to diminish that offense. I don't think Purdy is a really good, competent quarterback playing way above his draft, but he doesn't excite me. And in big games, he's as many times looked bad as he's looked good.
Yeah, I would, before you say something crazy, I think that's a big thing for me is that defense being uneven. So are you really counting on Brock Purdy to kind of win that division again? I'm put my money on Sean McVay and Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Guy who's done it, a guy we've seen do it for, close to 15 years now. And I think I don't know if I like Geno Smith more than him, but I like Murray better than Purdy as well.
I do like what you hit on. I like the idea of bringing Ayuk to Cleveland. It'd be interesting to watch Mike Tomlin play Mike Tomlin twice a year. It'd be insane.
You're stupid. All right, so let's go win-loss, win-loss, all right? So I got the Rams schedule pulled up here, and you're just going to give me win-loss. If you want to throw something cute in there, just keep it to a sentence, but that's it, okay? So
I don't know if I can do that week 4, but...
So we're opening the season at Detroit. That's a Sunday night game.
So is this all of us, or is this just
This
me?
is just you.
me. All right, they're coming out of the gates with a loss. Detroit is going to beat them week 1.
Okay. Week 2, we're at Arizona.
They're going to throttle the midget.
All right. See, now I can't clip that. Don't do that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Okay.
All right, they're
Week
going
2 at Arizona.
They're going to throttle Arizona.
Okay.
Thought of who?
Week 3 versus those very same 49ers.
And this is a home game, and I have them beating San Fran at home.
Okay, I'm interested in this next one. Week 4 at Chicago in Soldier Field.
They're not even going to score.
Okay.
Chicago wins that.
Okay, so are we...
Bear down here. I'll do this. That way you can clip it, and then you can highlight my nails and put bear down on my fingertips. How about that?
So we're 2-2 right now.
We're 2-2.
All right, so then we're home to the Green Bay Packers in Week 5.
They're gonna beat the shit out of the Cheeseheads.
Okay, so 3-2. Then we got our bye week in Week 6. Then Week 7, we're home to the Las Vegas Raiders. That's a win, right?
That's a win.
Okay, that's 4-2. Week 8, we're home to the Minnesota Vikings.
That's an easy win too.
Are you keeping track of this record? Because I can't do both of these things. Please help.
He already told us.
Oh, yeah, he did. All right, so then Week
That's
9. Week 9, we're at Seattle.
That's a win. 6-2.
Okay, the vaunted Seattle offense you were just talking about.
Yes.
They're going to win. Okay.
They're gonna beat Seattle.
All right. Week 10, Monday Night Football versus the Miami Dolphins at home.
They slip up a little bit here. Miami gets the dub.
Okay. Week 11, at Foxborough to play those Pats.
They're gonna beat New England down.
All right.
Yeah.
Week 12.
The Rams are coming.
Okay. Week 12, we're home to those underachieving Philadelphia Eagles.
They are going to slaughter the Birds.
Okay.
They're going to grease their poles.
Week 13 at the Superdome to play the New Orleans Saints.
They're going to beat New Orleans in that very overrated, stinky city.
Yeah.
Okay, week 14, we're home to the Buffalo, the wildly average this year Buffalo Bills.
They're going to beat Buffalo. This is going to be an awesome late season game because I think there's going to be a lot on the line here. And I think this is, believe it or not, where Buffalo is going to start to lose that division.
Got it. All right, Week 15, a rematch at San Francisco, Levi Stadium.
I would love to call another win here, but it's at San Fran. These division games usually go 1-1 between the juggernauts. So I'm going to give San Fran the nod here slightly.
It's another tough game on the road here, Week 16 at the Meadowlands to face the Jets.
Again, another playoff implication here with jockeying of the division. And unlike the loss by the Bills, the Jets are going to man up, and the Jets are going to beat the Rams here, and the Jets take control of that AFC East.
Okay, Week 17 versus the vaunted Kyler Murray and Arizona Cardinals.
They beat them again.
Okay, Week 18 they finish up at home versus the incredible Seattle Seahawks.
They beat Seattle again.
Okay, so Seattle's a lot of dubs on the board. 12-5. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So we got we're Rams podcast this year, and man, I gotta say, I was surprised that you guys picked the Rams too, because I thought I was
shocked you
going
guys
on them.
did.
Well, I mean,
love
I did.
Sean
To me,
McVay.
it's in.
I love Stafford when healthy.
I think the coaching is just as good, if not better. I think if you take Brandon Staley in with the defensive coordinator he just brought in, what was his name again? Mr. Nick Sorensen. I think you probably give the edge to the Rams. I think quarterback, you give the edge to the Rams. I think weapons on the outside now, healthy Cup, I still give the edge to the Rams. Backfield, I'll give it to the 49ers with CMC, but they have two good backs. And I think the defense is better for the Rams, even with Donald gone. So
yeah, I just go back to a late season game. The Browns were hitting their stride, looking great. The Rams played them, and Sean McVay literally drew up one of the best offensive plans. He realized that our secondary corner was hurt, and not like hurt to where he couldn't play, but hurt to where he couldn't run straight or run as fast. And he drew up an amazing game plan and beat the Browns. And that's what I love about Sean McVay. He does it. He's got that offensive mind.
And the Rams, I mean, they had one of probably the most significant low-key signings of the offseason, bringing in a tight end that grades out to be one of the best blocking tight ends in the game, Colby Parkinson, until Tyler Higbee can get 100% healthy and back on the field.
All right, well, there you go. That's our NFC West predictions. If you watch this, please stay tuned. We're going to touch on this division and all the other divisions and a fantasy slant. I know we threw a few things out there today, but we will be hitting it hard as we get into camp later on in mid-August, late August. So stay tuned for that. If you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Go check us out on all our socials at GON Podcast, and make sure that you visit Chalkboard and look out for that Patreon. We love you. Peace.
See ya.